Welcome to the Holmes Boxing Fitness channel. On this video, we're going to spend a lot of time going over Mittwork. If you're brand new to Mittwork, this is the video for you. If you're experienced with Mittwork, this is a good reminder of the fundamentals and why we're doing Mittwork in the first place. And hopefully you pick up a couple of tips and a few things along the way as well. So stay tuned. It's a long one, but it's a good one. Let's do it. Okay, so Mittwork, PADWORK, boxing PADWORK. Why did I make this video? I made this video to give you guys a guide on things you should be thinking about when you're catching punches. And a lot of us get into habits and we get into bad habits over time. And if we're brand new to Mittwork as well, we're not quite sure where to start. So a lot of the Mittwork that I see from coaches that haven't got the experiences, they tend to get wide and things are getting off and the boxer's form isn't great. And even people that have been doing this for a long time, form can dip and we get into habits. So with this video, I want to really remind you guys to dial in your technique. And I'm going to give you a lot on this video of things that we can do to dial in that technique. Also, when we're taking on a first-time client or a brand new boxer or someone brand new to the gym for the first time and they want to try boxing, we want to give them a good experience, and that's what I really wanted to get out of this video. How do we give them a good experience? What do we teach them? And what do we do on the pads with somebody who's new to boxing? So if you're new to Mittwork, you're bringing on new clients who are new to boxing, this video is going to give you a ton of value and a few things that you can really take into those sessions and make them the best sessions they can be. That's why I made this video. Let's get to it. All right, so before we get to the actual technique of catching the punches and what we should be coaching people, just a quick overview of styles of mitts. This is typically called a speed mitt, so it's really thin. It's about the size of a hand. So these are really good for speed work, fast hands, and accuracy. Like the punches have got to be really accurate with these. They can have a tendency to beat the hands up a little bit, and there's way less padding and cushion, as you can see. A little bit more of an advanced option, but great for speed work. On the flip side, we've got this massive cushion mitt, thick mitt, power mitt. Great for heavy hitters, people that aren't quite as accurate. If you've got people that are punch wide or want to just blast away on the mitts, these are going to really protect you on impact. But a little tougher to do speed drills and fast hand work and flows and cycles with these, just because there's so much to it. But if you're just sticking to the 1-2s and the power shots, these are a great option for someone who's heavier handed and maybe bigger than you if you're a coach too. Finally, the best mitt ever created. This is the mitt that you see on all my videos. If you're interested in getting a pair of these, the link's in the description below. You can see all of the different colorways. But I put a lot of work into this mitt. It's kind of a hybrid of the two. You see there's a decent amount of cushioning on there. It's not too big, so you still need accuracy. But at the same time, there's a nice curve to it. There's a ball grip inside. And my whole goal with this, when I was testing these and refining the shape and the feel, was to just kind of take that impact out. So it allows you to do power punching, it allows you to do speed work, but it also gives you maximum protection as well. And then I just tried to make them look cool and put a cool design on there. So a few colorways. Check it out, mittworkshop.com if you want to check out those. But these are what I'm going to be using today. All right, quick technique overview before we get into actually catching the punches. Your technique is mostly going to come from your mitt positioning, right? So where are you holding the pads and the mitts? The wider we get and the bigger we get with the target, the worse that's going to be in terms of your technique, obviously, but it's going to be worse for your technique of your boxer because the punches are getting wide, they're going up, they're going across, they're not going down the middle and being accurate where we want them. So first thing I want to encourage you to do before we get into this is keep your mitts as close together, right? That's really going to help reduce the impact on the elbows and the shoulders and the wrists. Your body's a lot more behind the punches, and it's just going to make your boxers look better, which is what this is all about, right? Okay, so mitt positioning for the basic punches. So in the next section, we're going to get into the basic punches. How do we coach those? How do we catch them? And where should the mitts be for the basic punches, the fundamentals in boxing, the jab, the cross, and the hook? So catching the basic punches, we're going to start with the jab. So positioning for the jab for an orthodox boxer, right? So I'm going to look at the height of my boxer first and see where his shoulders and gloves are, and that's the height that I want to catch the punch at. So for the jab, it's going to be right here, right? That's the height that we want. Now as far as like how far and how close I need to be for that punch, the jab needs to be fully extended on impact. So I need to kind of, if you need to hold it there and measure it to kind of feel where your arm needs to be, that's exactly where we need. Shoulder height, arm fully extended, right? And straight down the middle. We don't want him going across to the side like this or up here like this, right? To get the good fundamentals, especially with a first timer, we need it right down the pipe. Nice long extended punch. Now as far as where my arm is, when that jab lands, right? I don't want my elbow out here because that's putting a lot of torque and stress on that elbow. It's making me use my shoulder. So I want to keep the elbow in and I want to keep the mitt nice and flat to the target too. I don't want to be angling it off like this, right? Or elbow lifting or anything like that, turning the mitt. So just stand your ground. I always encourage coaches as well when you're catching punches is to keep that core tight. It just gives you a good base and keeps everything solid, and it helps reduce that impact as well. So basic jab, we're going to look at the shoulder height. We're going to show the mitt first, and then we're going to call for the punch, right? So that way we're in control of the punches. Another thing to remember when you're doing mitt work, we're in control of every single punch that comes. You should never be seeing any punches come flying past your head that you didn't ask for. We're in control of every single punch. So just to make sure we maintain that control, we're going to show the target, then we're going to call for the punch. Jab. So he's waiting for me to give him the cue to punch, but he can see the target from the start. The whole thing about mitt work is we want to create a target and then have our boxers see the target and then react, that hand-eye coordination element. A common mistake, and it is not this, is jab. He starts the jab and then relies on me catching the punch by throwing the mitt up. Jab, right? We don't want to do that because he's technically throwing punching at fresh air and just relying on me to hit his glove at the last minute. What we want to train is see a target, punch the target, right? And that's how we're going to create better boxes. So jab, there. Now, as far as the resistance and timing goes, this is one of the hardest things and probably the biggest skill that you can develop with mitt work is the resistance and the timing of catching that punch. The last thing we want to do, our boxer to feel is like there's no impact or there's no resistance behind it. So we don't want to be pulling away like this, where it feels like he's not punching anything. And on the flip side of that, we don't want to be jamming the mitt into the glove like that, where he can't fully extend and it's putting strain and stress on his shoulder. So we want him to allow him to do the work, but we want to slightly meet that punch. So I'm thinking about 6 inches of movement in your mitt just to meet that punch a little bit, okay? So brace up the core, meet the glove a little bit, but make sure you're making the call every time. Jab, good. And you notice how I'm exhaling when I do that as well. If I exhale, it's going to encourage my boxer to exhale with the punch as well. Jab, good. Jab, there, good. There's a tiny little pop, just bouncing the mitt off the knuckles. So there's a few things that you can work on just with the jab. All right, so with the jab in the bag, now we're going to move on to the cross, the second most fundamental punch in boxing. So the straight right hand, or the number 2. So for this punch, this is a power punch, right? So we've got to embrace for that impact. So the same concepts apply in terms of the range. So we want to make sure you can fully extend the punch and turn the hips and the arms all the way out, and we're punching at shoulder height right here. So in terms of the mitt positioning for the 2, same again, shoulder height. So it's going to be where your boxer's shoulder height is, not where your shoulder height is as the coach. If I was taller, I'm going to drop my stance by widening my legs, right? If I was shorter than my boxer, then I'm going to lift the arm up a little bit like this, but still keep that elbow in. We're about the same height, so I can be around shoulder head height for myself here. So for the cross, the same thing, we're going to show that mitt nice and flat. Again, we don't want any turn. Notice how I'm keeping the elbow in like this. I'm not lifting that elbow or doing any big slaps like this. I'm not doing too much movement, and I'll get to that point in a little bit. But I'm just going to slightly turn my body into the punch as he turns his hips, and then that's allowing me to get my body behind that impact of the punch as well. If I don't turn my body, the likelihood of pulling that shoulder and the shoulder taking all the impact, that's what we want to try and avoid. So I really want to encourage you when you're catching power punches, especially the cross, just a slight turn of the hips into the punch, almost like you're throwing a mini cross yourself, right? The added benefit of doing that is it's mirroring the movements that you want your boxer to execute. So if I turn into that punch, and every time he throws that cross, he's seeing me kind of turn as well, right? So it's just going to creating those good habits and a good visual for the boxer. So again, from the start, we're going to hold the mitt, and then we're going to call for the punch and allow him to fully extend and punch through the pad. 2, good. Now I'm calling for the 2. You can call it the cross, you can call it a right hand, whatever you want to call it. 2, good. I'm exhaling. And a good indicator with this, something that you'll probably feel a lot, especially with your first-time boxers or boxers that are a little bit less accurate with their punches at the stage where they're at, is you might feel the punch go off to the side of the mitt. So they might catch the outside of the punch because they're rotating the body. There's a tendency to go across the target like that. You probably see that right there. So they'll catch the outside, and that kind of tweaks the wrist a little bit sometimes. So to avoid that, if you do feel that, they feel it go off to the side, just cue your boxer to readjust the target. So I noticed that time you hit the outside. This time I want you to land the knuckles right in the middle of the pad. Still rotate the body, just throw the punch straight down the line instead. There, and then that's kind of like how we're going to correct that punching across the target. Straight down the pipe. 2, good. 2, Good. And then just a little bit of movement with the pad. I'm coming into the knuckles a little bit. I'm not jamming it and I'm not pulling away either, right? So I'm just meeting it there, and that's creating that resistance and timing that makes it feel good for him, right? Okay, so a quick recap on that. So with the jab, shoulder height, allow him to fully extend, lift the mitt, call for the punch. Same with the cross, slight turn of the body into it, keep that core tight to embrace the impact. So there's your jab and your cross. So now we're going to do the most fundamental combination in boxing, the jab cross or the 1-2. So for that, we want to show both top mitts from the start, right? Now this is really important. If I go back to the point, if I call for a 1-2 and I'm only showing that, then I'm playing catch up for that 2, and I'm just playing, you know, meeting the gloves, playing slap, right? Which we don't want to do. So we want to create that target. So for an accurate 1-2, and there's a video that I've done on this, multiple ways to catch the 1-2, but the most fundamental ways, mitts apart like this, elbows down, shoulder height, and we just kind of meet those punches with a few inches of movement in the pads. All right, so we're going to show the target from the start, keep the mitts together, so we're kind of creating that head target, keeping it realistic, shoulder height, and then we just cue the boxer to throw the 1-2. All right, ready? 1-2. Nice, good. 1-2. Good. And I'm allowing the punches to travel. I'm not meeting them too much to smother the shots. When you catch the punches as well, watch your boxer's arms, make sure they're fully extended. 1-2. Good. I'm watching his form, making sure he's rotating whilst concentrating on my own resistance and timing. 1-2. Good. Now all I'm doing as he starts to throw the punch, I can see the punch coming, and I'm just squeezing the ball grip inside the mitt just to kind of create that tension so it's nice and solid for him on impact. 1-2. Good. 1-2. Nice, good, perfect, relax. All right, so there we have it. We've caught the jab, we've caught the cross, now we've caught the 1-2. Hopefully so far there's a few things for you to think about right there. So now we're going to move on to one of the most awkward punches in boxing, but still a fundamental punch, the lead hook. And one thing that I like to do when I'm teaching the lead hook to somebody for the first time, I always like to include it in the first session, because it is an awkward punch, but you can do so much with it. And I think giving them 3 punches is really important to build their confidence. So what we're going to do for the lead hook is we're going to actually teach it off the 1-2. So for the lead hook, right, so we've thrown the 1-2, and then we're going to bring the mitt around the side. And common cues for your first-time boxers here, just getting away from the pad work for a second. Elbow up, coffee cup or a thumb up on the fist position, and then just rotating the left side of the body across the punch, right? That's what we want to try and do. Now, the reason we put the 1-2 there first is because in order to do that from a non-dominant side, he's naturally right-sided. To do all of that from his non-dominant side, his left side, is a lot, right? So what we want to try and do is put him in a position to succeed. So with the 1-2, just hold the 2, right? Now he's actually loaded up on that side, right? We've coached him to fully extend the arm and get the weight through to his lead side. So now he's kind of in a good position there. It should feel a little bit easier to execute that hook technique with the weight on that lead side. So that's why we teach it off the 1-2 to a beginner. Now, as far as catching the punches, now we're getting into a 3-punch combination. So we want to be slightly ahead of the boxer, right? Because once one's come in, there's 2 more coming straight away, and we want that rhythm, we want that cadence. Bam, 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 right? So what we've got to think about now we're catching combinations is just being a step ahead of the boxer. So as soon as I've caught that 1-2, same fundamentals and same concepts apply to what we just talked about with the 1-2. So a narrow target, but as soon as the jab has landed, I've already got my mitt round the side. Now, mitt positioning for the hook, this is a common question that some of you have asked me on this channel, is what position should the mitt be in to catch the hook? I get this quite a lot. I always try and encourage you guys to catch it with the fingers and the mitt facing up like this. Boom, right? Because it's a power punch again, and we want to reinforce that. We don't want that punch pulling our elbow and shoulder away. Now, with the mitt facing forward, it's a little bit easier to catch it that way, and you might get better results in terms of the resistance and timing. But when you get someone who pushes the punches a little bit, or someone's really heavy-handed or a lot bigger than you, that position right there has a tendency to really pull that shoulder and elbow away from the body. In this position, we can kind of turn with them back the opposite way, and we've got our body weight behind it. It's a lot more reinforced that way. If you think of like an arm wrestle, right? If you're in an arm wrestling, that's the position right there, your shoulders behind it. If you're trying to arm wrestle Like in this position, it's a lot weaker, right? So that's why I like this position a little bit better for the hook. Personal preference, but just some of the reasons why it is a personal preference for me. So back to the combination. So in terms of the timing right here, watch the left mitt. As soon as the jab's landed, I'm just gonna slide that mitt around the side. I'm not gonna go and reach or lean in or do anything big. It's just a nice simple movement to bring it around the side, so it's already in position for him to land that hook after the cross. So 1-2 hook, good. Just slow it right down, just watch the left mitt, guys. So boom, immediately as soon as the jab lands, it's already in position, so he can actually, I'm training him to see that target ahead of time. So there, boom, boom, boom. So his eyes are on the target when he's throwing the hook. That's how you're gonna get a more accurate punch and better technique, and that's what it's all about, right? So there's a couple of things you can think about with your hook. Now we've got the 3 fundamental punches done, the jab, the cross, and the hook. Now we're gonna get onto some defense. All right, so the basic defense, we're actually gonna start with the slip. So on this video, I'm gonna teach you how to teach your boxer how to do a slip and how to execute it on the mitts. So again, we're gonna start off with the 1-2, right? So with the slip, off the 1-2, we'd be defending a jab. So we're gonna catch the 1-2 right here like we've just been working on. And as soon as that 2 lands, I'm gonna throw my jab straight down the same line that he's thrown that 2. And he's going to slip it off to his power side by taking his head off the line, shifting the weight slightly to the power side, and just kind of turning the shoulders just a little bit with the gloves up, right? So those are the cues that I would kind of use for that slip. Take your head off the line, gloves are up, slight shoulder turn, and a slight shift of the weight in the legs, right? The main thing that you want to focus on with this slip to your boxers is getting the head off the line. Like if they rotate the shoulders and they shift the weight, but they don't get the head off that center line, then the defense isn't there, right? So they really got to get their head away from that center line. Center line, and you can actually use a line by putting a line on the ground, draw a line, piece of tape, whatever you want, 1 foot either side, and you can really use that to kind of drill that slip and have your boxer use that line as kind of a guide for this. So the 1-2 comes down the line, and then they slip off the line, and then they come right back to center from there. So it's a quick slip and then right back to center with the gloves up, right? So the call for this is gonna be a 1-2 slip, right? Now for the timing, which I talked about being a step ahead, you gotta think about when you're gonna throw that jab. And it's immediately as soon as the 2's landed. Just like we worked on in the last section with the hook, as soon as the jab's landed, I've got my mitt in position for the hook. As soon as the cross has landed here, I'm going with my jab for him to defend. So it can all flow in that same cadence, right? So a 1-2 slip. So let's try it, nice and steady on the tempo, 1-2 slip, slip, there, and I bring it right back. And then as soon as I've brought it right back, really important, see how my mitts are closed off? It's clear to my boxer I don't want any more punches or a counter punch or anything like that. I just want the 1-2 slip and then we reset. So quick tip right there. After every punch, when you don't want punches, bring the mitts down, close them off, just make it clear to your boxer you don't want punches. The last thing that you want, especially in a loud gym environment when the music's going, is just doing this and you haven't called any punches and your boxer just starts throwing punches that they think you want, but just because your mitts are in position. So just be aware of when your mitts are up and when they're down, right? So it's real clear. So 1-2 slip, there. Now the timing of the call, the cadence of the call, the volume, the intensity of your calls is very important as well. So if I want it nice and controlled, I can just be nice and deliberate with the call. So 1-2 slip, right? And the cadence that I say is gonna be the speed that I get back. 1-2 slip, and that's what we get is a 1-2 slip. Now, with someone a little bit more advanced, or if you're flying through their first couple of sessions and they're starting to get comfortable with it, then we can add a little bit of speed to that call. So 1-2 slip, good, 1-2 slip, there, nice, good. So just a way that you can use the calls to increase or decrease the intensity of what you want. So there's how you can introduce some basic defense. Always, again, like we did with the hook, is I'd really recommend you guys do it off the 1-2. It just sets new boxers up for success. And it also allows you, if you're new to pad work and mitt work and coaching, to kind of get the combo down and then work on what's coming off that 1-2 as well. So there we have it, 1-2 slip. And you can always add in a couple of counter punches from there too if you want to really build up your confidence in your boxers. So off that 1-2 slip, we can just hold the right mitt in place. I whip this back quick and then we can come back with the 2. Right, because he's on his power side. So now the call would be a 1-2 slip 2. 1-2 slip 2. Good. So from the top, I'm going to hold the pads up. I'm going to make the call. 1-2 slip 2. Good. Now the key right here is to throw that jab straight, fully extend, so it's a realistic jab for him to defend, but make sure the right mitt is in position so he can actually see where he needs to be for the counter punch. So for the whole combo, this right mitt doesn't even need to move, right? So if I just keep it in place, if you just pay attention to the right mitt for a second, 1-2 slip 2. it's there, it's the same spot, right? So in boxing, if I'd missed right here, he comes back over the top with that right hand on the chin. So there you have it, basic defense, the slip. Okay, so footwork, working on the fundamentals of footwork whilst using the mitts, right? So with footwork, the main thing that we're trying to coach here is reaction. So we're going to teach the fundamental footwork. So obviously, when we move backwards, your boxer is going to move their back foot first. When they move forwards, they're going to move the front foot first, right? And keeping those feet about shoulder width apart, staying on the balls of the feet the whole time, staying out of the heels, okay? Now, how do we coach that? So we explain what we want in terms of the technique, and then when we get the gloves and the mitts on, what I like to do with footwork is just kind of keep it like random and reactive. So they have to think, and the calorie burn is going to go up, the concentration levels go up, and we're just going to keep the punches real basic, right? So what I'm going to do now is just give you a quick demo for around 15-20 seconds and just see how we add in the movement. And all I'm going to do to make him move back, I'm just going to step in, and it's up to him to react and keep that range and that distance where he's about arm's length from me. And we want to stay about arm's length as far as the range so we can land the punches. And if I want him to move forward, I'm just going to keep moving back like this and let him follow me. And notice how I've got my mitts down so it's clear I don't want the punches. Like I mentioned a minute ago, we don't want to be walking forward like this and eating punches that we didn't expect. All right, so quick demo. Nice and steady. Jab. Good. I'm moving away, making him move his feet. I'm moving forward. 1, 2. Nice. Moving back. 2. Good. 1, 2, hook. Good. 1, 2, hook 2. Good. 2. Jab. Jab. 1, 2. Nice, good, rest. So you notice like after each punch, each combination, a little bit of movement. I'm just stepping in, they've got to react with the feet, right? Now if I tell him what to do, it takes that reactive element out. So try to avoid this. 1, 2, step back, right? I'm telling him what to do, he doesn't really have to react, right? And what we want to coach is the reactive footwork. So explain that obviously from the start. If they're not getting it and you're walking at them and they're not moving, then obviously you're going to have to coach that first. But that's how I would introduce footwork. You've coached that before they've got the gloves on, gone through all these basic punches and the basic defense. But then when the gloves are on like this is how we can kind of actually put that into practice and train them on the mitts and introduce the footwork to the mittwork side of the session. All right, guys, so there you have it. I just wanted to run over the basics. If you really enjoyed this video and you got a lot from it and you're interested in stepping your mittwork game up, or you're new to mitts and you actually want to get certified in this stuff and learn at a deeper level and actually go through a course, check out the link below, boxingfitness.com. You'll see the Boxing Fitness Academy. That's the company that I co-own with Tony Jeffries, the leading YouTube boxing channel. We built this course back in 2016 and we've certified thousands of fitness professionals and coaches now with this. The level 1 course goes deep into this stuff and really teaches and breaks it down in depth. And you'll answer questions and submit videos to us and we'll work with you as well. All remote, all online, so check that out, boxingfitness.com. Click on the Instructor Academy option on the website too, the link's below. So that's if you want to get certified in mitt holding and coaching boxing and you really want to pursue this as a career, that course is definitely for you, so please check that out. All right guys, so the key takeaway and the pro tip from this video, before I get to that, just a reminder, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, then you're going to get notified of the videos each week. Like the video, leave your comments below. If there's anything that I missed out in this video that you want to see in future videos, please leave it in the comments below. That will really help the channel. Appreciate all the support. So the key takeaway from this video, number 1, technique on your mitts. Keep everything narrow, right? Resistance and timing is everything. That's the key experience your boxers are going to get from it, and they're going to absolutely love you as a coach if your resistance and timing is nice and solid. Don't go too hard on the punches. Don't be too soft and floppy where they're not feeling like they're punching anything. Resistance and timing is number 1. Practice that with friends and family if you're new to it before you go and put it into practice with your paid sessions. Squeezing the ball grip in the mitt and just tensing up on impact is the key to the resistance and timing, and also less is more. Your resistance and timing is going to be better the less you do of this big stuff, and the more you keep everything nice and narrow and compact, the resistance and timing will be there because your boxer can do the work and they can actually punch the pads, okay? So yeah, key takeaways, less is more, and resistance and timing is absolutely everything. And my final pro tip, keep it simple. If you are uncomfortable catching uppercuts, hooks, body shots, doing slips and rolls, doing the fancy stuff, if that still feels foreign to you and you feel pretty comfortable on the 1 and 2, then just stick to the 1s and 2s in your sessions. Practice, 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 one little punch at a time. Add on small bits, 1-2 hook, 1-2 slip. build up slowly, nail the fundamentals, do them day in, day out, do them weeks on end, start introducing more and more defense and complex stuff as you start to get comfortable with it. Don't do it if it doesn't feel comfortable. Coach what you know, coach what you understand, and remember, keep it simple. You can always give people great, really good professional sessions with just these fundamentals that we've gone through in this video. The jab, the cross, the hook, some basic footwork and some basic defense is enough to give people great sessions. It's about how you tweak that intensity, when you want more speed, when you want more footwork, how much you want to push them in around. That's where the key skills come in and what creates the great workout, right? So it's not always about the fancy, flashy stuff. All right, if you enjoyed this video, check out the 4 tips to catch punches like a pro video. You might get a little bit more out of that one as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Leave your comments, like and subscribe. Appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one.